Are you just a little sad that we don't have any shots left on the wheel? Like, I feel a little lonely on that wheel. No, just the segments.
I mean,
All
I
right.
missed the visual, but no.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm actually really feeling like I should have, you know what I should have brought with my bar is like an Alka-Seltzer and a Prevacid or something. Okay, so wait, what did we just land on?
You're
Oh,
gonna
the
lose our
GOP.
millennial audience.
If I know you're right. If I tell you about my aching stomach, my indigestions, plop, plop, fizz, fizz.
What do we
Okay. So I mean, there's so many problems with what's happening, but watching everyone circle the wagon around Democrats who break a strike, who don't give you a minimum wage, a living wage. I mean, $15 is ridiculous. $15 does nothing. It should be $25 now. And the fact that like even Bernie, I think last week said that he was starting at $17. What are you talking about? That's not how you like. And he also did a thing. I mean, sorry, I know this isn't about Bernie, but like saying he wants to make sure that the rail workers get 7 days of sick leave. Well, their ask was 15. Why are we already compromising at this point?
Yeah, the compromise was for 7 before they had actually voted on it, and they got none.
Yeah.
So wasn't the whole Bernie thing movement like make a big ask and then compromise?
Yeah, no middle ground. No middle ground. So the fact that Biden insists that the economy is going well, that he is doubling money for the police, that they are giving more money than the Pentagon even wants for the military budget, that we are in this horrific, basically World War III. They keep saying, oh, Russia's not doing as well as everyone thought that they would as this big, superpower, but they are fighting against all of NATO in Europe, basically. That we are in the middle of this is allowing the right to pretend to be semi-progressive and talk about how it was Marjorie Taylor Greene was the first member of Congress I saw even tweet about the toxins in the air after the rail worker strike.
It's wide open for the right to act like the Democrats are the heartless folks.
And I mean, they're not wrong
on so many issues. I mean, the one thing I thought for sure we'd have is, the right doesn't give a shit about COVID, and healthcare and protecting poor people. But even that has been ceded to the right. The right, it's just neutralized because the left
they've neutralized it. I mean, it's like, remember when in 2016, when they were going to start bringing out something about Trump being pals with Epstein, and then we saw that Bill Clinton had been on the Lolita Express 26 times. So that neutralized that, right? The same thing happened in Virginia with McAuliffe and who's the guy down there now who beat him, and they're both like on the board of the Carlyle group. Like, if Democrats do every corrupt, evil thing that Republicans do, what's the difference?
And the classified documents that we're going to take down Trump. They were going to take him down, and we got him to Biden's laptop. Well, let's just call it a draw. No one's going to talk about it anymore. It's all a wash. Although all we're going to hear now, because the Republicans took the Senate back, we're going to hear hearings on the Biden laptop, and
that's right.
And so right now, the Republicans are already ahead in the polls against Biden, and wait till they have TV shows every day with
Hunter Biden hearings and all of his
Biden laptop and
So and then also and I know it's not sincere, but you have the only, and I shouldn't say it's not sincere. I'm not a fan of Tucker Carlson. He seems to be the only person putting anti-war voices on the air, because it's not happening on CNN and MSNBC. So that is also, it's like widening this gap. Yeah.
Well, it is. You're making a very good point, because when you have, I hate to agree with you.
I really want to.
I would rather agree with Tucker. But I'm kind of agreeing with you both. But the left has ceded this space for the anti-war right.
Yep.
Which is crazy. The anti-war right is Tucker. It's dipshits like that Jackson Hinkle fucking dipshit. And they're pretending, supporting Ukraine, supporting Russia is very different than being anti-war.
Right. And many of them actually are gearing up for war with China. So it's not like they're anti-war. They're just,
yeah. And look, if you want to support the anti-war speaker thing, I'm not going to knock it because Hinkle's there. If you guys are fans of that, because I support it. There's some great speakers there, some excellent speakers at this anti-war rally coming up. But why would you have pro-war speakers along with your anti-war speakers?
Yeah.
I don't care if you have people on the right who disagree, even on abortion or whatever.
Yeah.
But your main issue is the war, and you have pro-war people speaking at it. So that is a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
anyway, I derailed this conversation.
Sorry. No, but I mean, it's true. It's like the more that the bandwagon sort of like people circle around their team, and reporters are not asking hard questions of people they generally support, because most of the people in mainstream media are in the liberal party, corporate liberal Democratic Party. They are not really holding, they don't want to ask the tough questions of the Democrats in power, or half of the Republicans either, right? Like the whole Lincoln Project group and Nicole Wallace and all the people out of George W. Bush's war criminal administration. So they don't ask any questions. They don't hold them to account. And so, right, then the only people who do are on Fox News. So like there was just this segment with a Black farmer on Fox News saying Biden's about to allow a protection to expire. J.W. Boyd, president of the National Black Farmers Association, discusses farmers fearing crisis as farming bill set to expire and Biden not addressing it. That's on Fox News, right? So because the people who are in alignment with the Democratic Party refuse to call out Biden and his administration on anything apart from his withdrawal from Afghanistan, which is like the one good thing he's done, they're allowing Fox and Republicans in power to act like they're the party of the working class. And they're not.
So
this
clearly
is
aren't.
all being done cynically. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, for Tucker Carlson to seem like the working class side of the Republicans is like doubly what the fuck, because he was the idiot that would wear a bow tie. I mean, he was the young Republican guy coming out of college who was just like, he held every trickle down economics view that ever existed, that poor people should work themselves up from their bootstraps and the government should supply no help. And,
don't tax the wealthy. How much do you want to tax? Like, right. Exactly.
Yeah. And he's
job creators.
He's just branded himself. And that's the thing, that Tucker and people on the right some of them are touching into this segment of the anti-war, it's an area that should be taken by the left, but isn't. There isn't a big anti-war Democratic progressive piece, because none of the progressives are anti this war with Ukraine. Some of them are calling for more diplomacy. Well, that's pretty fucking vague. Well,
no, then they right away, they got 1 ounce of pushback and right away retracted that. I'll tell you who is anti-war.
There's no upside. We're a very powerful nuclear country, and so are they.
And now we have a war between Russia and Ukraine, with potentially hundreds of thousands of people dying. We must demand the immediate negotiation of a peaceful end to the war in Ukraine, or we will end up in World War III, and there will be nothing left of our planet, all because stupid people.
Well, peace, we should have never been involved with a certain war that's taking place right now that's really hurting killing a lot of people, but hurting a lot of countries.
Nuclear holocaust would be like no other. They're a very powerful nuclear country, and so are we.
The fake news said my personality would get us into a war. I'm telling you, that guy's going to get us into a war. but actually my personality is what kept us out of war. I was the only president in nearly 4 decades who did not get America into any new conflicts. Instead, I brought our troops and our wonderful children back home. I brought them back home where they belong.
I mean,
fuck. You know, he's not wrong on that.
He's not wrong on that. He's disgusting, but like, he's not wrong. I mean, I don't even know where we are right now when Trump, I mean, when he assassinated, was it the Syrian or Iranian general? I thought we were going to have a nuclear war, or like start. Yeah, I thought that was going to really set things off pretty awfully. But apart from that, I mean, he's disgusting. I mean, I feel like, God, do I really have to say this every time? But like, we have been at a state of close to World War III for the last full year. And, you know, I know we're not doing a whole segment on it this
the
week,
doomsday clock.
The doomsday clock. But like, you know, they just showed, Cy Hirsch just did a really great long piece about how basically it was the US who blew up Nord Stream pipeline, which is because not only does that exacerbate the problems in Germany and all of Europe with gas, it was also a huge environmental disaster. Nobody's going to pay the price for that at all. Also, it was just revealed by the former Prime Minister of Israel that they were close to a peace between Ukraine and Russia back in April, and the US said, nope, you can't let it go through. We need to keep this war. We need to weaken Russia. So that was in April. That is now, what is that, 11 months, 10 months of death and devastation in both countries. But even if you only care about Ukraine, they are being demolished right now.
Well, what does Biden have? What is the record of the Democrats? I mean, they're hanging their whole hat on the economy right now. Like that's what they've got.
Oh my God.
So if you're a realist about how the economy is impacting you, that's not going to work, right? You know,
right.
For a lot of people in the economy, selling yourself as that is not going to work. So that's why they really are pushing for this good versus evil, Ukraine versus Russia thing, so they can pin, you know, World War II. This is the battle for World War II. Anything that happens in our country, you know, it's more important to stop Hitler than, you know, the public transit, the homeless problem, the drug problem, the health, health insurance,
everything.
It's more important to stop Hitler. Which if you believe he was Hitler, okay. But I mean, people realize, you know, he's not Hitler. It could be an evil war.
Right.
But there's no domino theory where all that goes boom, 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 and we're up against Russia and our doorstep.
Yeah, he's not trying to take over all of Europe.
The way we get into a battle with Russia is we keep supplying weapons for this war, and we keep we give them tanks, we give them long-range missiles that can fire into Russia. We do all the things we're doing now. That's how we get into a war with Russia.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, when more things keep seeping out, you know, they're burning all Russian books now in Ukraine. They're huge. Like, this is not a democracy. They are like, are signing deals with BlackRock, one of the most evil companies, to come in and privatize the whole country. They are depleting labor unions. They are banning Russian language, certain political parties that are the left-wing political parties. Again, they're not banning the Nazi parties. I mean, this is not a battle of good versus evil. This is a battle that the US wants to supply gas to Europe and weaken Russia and have this be a testing ground for our weapon systems. It is, I mean, and you know, to the last Ukrainian. I mean, they said, we will fight to the last Ukrainian. That is not showing allyship with that country.
I mean, and the other pieces, there are other pieces to it too, which that benefit the U.S. You know, weakening Russia is one part. Uranium in Ukraine. I mean, for the batteries,
Lithium,
electric
no.
car battery, lithium,
yeah,
lithium,
yeah.
lithium in Ukraine is a benefit. No one's talking about all the benefits
Right.
to access to all that lithium. Russia has tons, but we don't have much. Is the whole point on that side.
Yeah.
The military industrial complex funding our whole government, funding all these politicians, you know,
Yeah.
they
Their
are
stocks keep
buying
going
their
up.
vote in all this stuff because they need to justify spending money. And
That's
so
right.
we need to give them our tanks so we can get new tanks. And it's just an ongoing cycle of spending a shit ton of money, which when we left Afghanistan, it was inevitable we'd find some place to do it.
Of course. Yeah. Yep. And we don't have anybody on the, you know, floor of Congress the way they have in the UK. We don't have a Claire Daly or a Mick Wallace and you know, even I'm trying to remember who it was. I think in one of the not Congress people, but members of parliament from Italy is also speaking out. I mean, we don't have anybody speaking out. Nobody in our political system. Every once in a while, Rand Paul will say something, but then he backtracks usually. Yeah, but so what that does is it makes the two parties pretty, I mean, so basically it all comes down to, you know, woke politics where, you know, we're going to push up, you know, Pete Buttigieg and Kamala Harris, and they're going to push up Nikki Haley and whoever the hell. And then what's the difference? Roe versus Wade, I guess.
I mean, they're making about all these issues, which I don't want to minimize those issues. Trans rights issues matter.
Of course.
Racial equality matters. All that stuff matters. But it allowed them to be the same on all these other issues. And we're down to the branding is is the change in America too fast because God and being white is losing its value, or should we, you know, and that's a clear distinction, which, we all watching the show lean to all those left issues.
Right.
But we have no home for all the other issues. Every other issue that we have no home for it and no voice and no one's fighting for us. The media is protecting them, protecting the regular public from even knowing about all the other issues in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big kayfabe. Is that what it's called? Kayfabe? Pretend. What is that? That's what the, you know, the wrestling.
You're younger than me?
I'm so much younger than you.